What's up, everybody? This is the Next Day Podcast with Mikel
Tanyka.
and we are back after a week off of eating a lot of Thanksgiving dinner. Damn, I feel really fat right now. Do you?
No.
Yeah, well, basically, I had a lot of Thanksgiving dinner, such as like a turkey gravy and um, macaroni. What did you have, Tanyka?
Well, I mean, in my home, we don't do Thanksgiving
Mhm.
the same way we used to back in the day.
Right.
So it's usually just me, my mom, and my brother, and we just do our own thing. We had a roast chicken. That's about it.
Mm,
And we just eat like normal people.
true.
Don't go
I
crazy.
mean, that's still good, you know.
Yeah.
That's still something, at least. So what are we talking about today, Tanika?
So today we're going to be talking about the writer's strike as well as the actors' strike.
Okay. So, we all know that the writer strike has ended. Uh, it's been like
September
100
27th
and yeah,
was the day it
September
ended.
20th. Yeah. So 148 days, I would say.
Yeah, my
148
math
days.
isn't mathing for sure.
Yeah, as I'm seeing an article on LA Times.
Yeah, from May
Um,
2nd to September 27th. So how many
yeah,
days that is, I don't know.
that's yeah,
Enough.
yeah. It's 148 days. That's crazy though. So,
Yeah.
so they got an agreement. So I just want to say five because I don't want to board you guys and everything like that. So, the term of agreement is from September 25, 2023 through May 1st, 2026. So I'm guessing May 1st, 2026 is going to be another strike.
Not
So,
necessarily. No, I wouldn't assume
really?
that. No. I
Really?
wouldn't assume
Okay,
that.
no?
What
Okay.
usually happens when it comes to any union is that when it's coming to that end point, they're going to start negotiations prior to that end date. If they don't
Mhm.
come to an agreement by the time of that end date, that's when potential strike can happen. So no, it doesn't
Okay.
necessarily mean a strike is going to happen.
Right. Okay. That confirms it. So second one is minimum increases. So I'm guessing increases of pay in the contract. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing that 5% of the contract, and so the contract 4% on May 2nd. The minimum increases are basically by 5%. So the contract from May 5th or May 2nd, 2024 is 4%. And then 3.5 on May 2nd of 2025, 3.5%. Minimum of rate increase less monthly by 3% each year, while few rate increase only once or do not increase over the contract. These exceptions are the result of patterns established in the industry. So, yeah.
And I think
And
the
then,
biggest things that we also need to talk about that I think really push the strikes to happen, the writers and the actors strikes, is the fact that they also have included increased foreign streaming residuals and viewerships
right,
based on streaming bonuses, because
right.
those things were not worked in the original contract, because back when they striked before, which was I believe in 2007, um, streaming services wasn't what it is today.
Right,
Right.
that too.
Yeah.
Right. I isn't that different from the writers than
No,
the
the writers and
they want the same
actors.
thing too? Okay.
They're both basing. I think where actors is a little different, but
Mhm.
the main focus is the fact that they're not being paid in such a way where the streaming is being reflected.
Right.
Because nowadays, versus when they striked back in 2007, I think actors was 2006.
Mm.
Back then, everyone still had cable. Everyone still went to a movie
Right.
theater. Everyone
Right.
still did those things. Whereas
Right.
now, especially post COVID, people are staying home. You have Disney Plus that will have, movies coming much sooner than they ever did prior to COVID. Like if you notice, movies don't stay in theaters as long as they used to anymore.
Mm.
So, and people aren't going to movie theaters as much as they used to before because why? You can stay at home and do it at home. It's cheaper.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, that's why they're okay. What we are getting is not reflecting those people who stay home and watch these movies or these TV shows, whatever the case may be, via streaming.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
why.
I do. Yeah. And yeah, DVD sales are down
Oh yeah,
extremely.
who watches a DVD anymore?
Yeah, dude. Nobody puts on DVDs.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one of the reasons why we'll go to that a little bit later on into the episode. But yeah, the writers wanted increased health pension contribution rate. So another thing, increase health pensions and what's artificial intelligence. So I'm
Yeah.
guessing AI has a lot to do with like the writers and the actors because a lot of the studios are using another option, which is AI to write and
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Well, that's exactly it. Because I mean, if you have like stuff like ChatGPT now, it's like
yeah.
you can use that. Like even like just the other day, I think like in my office, my boss comes up to me and he's like, "You've heard of chat?" Like he didn't say properly, he's almost 50, but he's like, Chat GPT, what about it? And he's like, we can have that to write our bios now. Like we don't have to do it ourselves. So
Right.
you see how like things are like starting to change. Like I don't know
Yeah.
if that's the route we'll ever go, but it's
Yeah.
true.
There's a
Like,
lot of things changing, like
mm,
uh writing, how you what's another thing? Um give me another thing. What's changing in terms of AI? Like um
well, then you also have like you have like Drake and like I think it was The Weeknd come out with a
oh
song
yeah,
that they
music.
didn't even
Right.
do because
That's right.
that was AI.
Yeah, music. Yeah. I remember one artist was okay with that. Like it was one artist, if I remember. You remember Beanie Siegel?
No.
Okay. He's a hip hop artist, basically. He was okay with that because his voice is a little bit raspy.
Mm-hmm.
So he can't like rap anymore, I
Mm-hmm.
believe. And I think it's like it's not just raspy. I think it's some type of disease he has in his voice. I can't remember what it's called.
Okay.
Uh, the rapper Lloyd Banks has something similar, or sorry, not Lloyd Banks. Young Jeezy has something similar.
Okay.
Um,
And he
his vo-
hasn't rapped in a long time.
yeah, and he's using AI to basically use his voice back when it was like a lot better
Mm-hmm.
to use AI to make more music. So yeah, that's a way to use AI in that form. Uh, unless the artist agrees with it. Now, if the artist doesn't agree with it, like if he has no knowledge or no uh what's the word I'm missing? Um
Like if he doesn't have, like if the artist doesn't give consent for that because you're using their
yes, yeah, that's
likeness.
the word I'm missing. Consent
Yeah.
for his actual AI voice, then that's wrong.
Yeah. Well,
Versus an
it's not even
artist.
so much like it's like separate voices, especially with Drake and The Weeknd. They don't have
Mhm.
anything going on with their voices at this time, but it's like
Right.
um they sound like whatever the song was. I never heard the song myself. Actually, no, I did. I heard bits and pieces of it on the radio, but
Mhm.
um it sounds like them. You know what I mean? Like it literally sounds like them. So
Right.
it's like I don't know how that went. I never heard anything about it again after I heard about it happening. But it's like, well, I don't know. Like, are they okay with it? Probably not. Because again, you're not just using something similar to their voice.
Mhm.
It sounds like them. So then
Right.
how does that work? Like, what was the end goal with that? Was it to put it out there, have the song be something, and then potentially get money off of it? Like, that could have
Uh,
become a
I, I,
case.
yeah, that could become what do you call it? A criminal case, I would believe.
Yes, absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
not necessarily a criminal case.
Civil.
It could have become a civil case, yeah, because
Yeah.
you're using someone's likeness
Right.
to, you can barely come out with a song these days without someone coming up the woodwork saying, you stole the same sound of my song and
Hmm.
try to get money. The only person I know that worked with, though, that ended up having to pay money back was Robin Thicke and Pharrell for Blurred Lines.
Interesting.
Otherwise, yeah. So you can barely come out with a song without it sounding somewhat similar to a different song.
Right.
How the
Yeah.
hell?
Yeah. I think because people want to see a certain type of fantasy, an artist wants to work with another artist, but it just
Mhm.
never, yeah, it never happens. Like Drake, they have worked before all this AI situation, right?
I don't recall.
Okay, so that's one reason. The
Right.
other reason is that people wanna there's other artists that want to work with those artists, even the dead artists. You heard about Timber Timberland, right?
Obviously,
Yeah, yeah, because we talked about
we
him
did
last
talk
week
about him.
with Ellie Furtado and every single thing.
You can't
He was
listen to a song without
he
Timbaland.
never yeah he never worked with Biggie before, right?
With who?
Biggie Smalls.
Okay. Okay.
So
Yeah.
so there was an AI voice based on Biggie Smalls.
Mm,
He heard it. He heard the song or whatever,
hmm.
um, and he was okay with it.
Of course, he's okay with it. I think
Yeah,
anyone who didn't get a chance to work with Biggie Smalls or
yeah.
Tupac would have been okay with it. But
But
like, I don't know how I feel about that.
no, I don't think that's okay though.
That's not okay.
Yeah, it's
Because
not
like
okay.
when my mind goes to, I go to a different spot here. Is my mind goes to how does his mom feel to hear her son's voice in a song that he never was a
Right,
part of? How would his daughter feel about hearing her father on a song that he never was a part of?
right.
You're just kind of opening up old wounds there because it's not just this guy was not just an art, the biggest, in my opinion, rap artist.
Mm.
He was also a father, a husband, a son, and he died young. So it's just like, come on, I don't like that. There's a fine, like, if you want to sample
Yeah,
somebody onto your song, like Michael Jackson sampled
yeah.
Biggie and one of his songs back in the final album he ever did. He sampled a couple of songs with Biggie in it. This was after Biggie had died. So
Right.
that's okay because he said he liked Biggie. He wanted to have him in one of his songs.
Songs.
Never
Yeah.
happened. So obviously he was able to sample him in one of his songs. And who's going to deny Michael Jackson? Nobody. So it's like, so that happened. But then to create a song that never happened, it's just,
Right.
if that's someone who's passed away, like if someone did that to like Michael Jackson, I'd lose it. It's like, come
Right.
on,
And I
that's
bet,
not
yeah.
right.
No, there's songs out there for AI Michael Jackson out there. There
And
is
I
a
don't
lot of
like
them.
it. I don't
Yeah,
like that.
I don't like it.
I've never heard. I don't even know how I feel about his family releasing music that he
Right.
himself never released.
Right.
I don't know how I would feel about AI Michael Jackson. Like the man
I
has
think it's
amazing
disgusting.
music.
Yeah.
Thank you. The man has
Yeah.
amazing music
Yeah.
that we
He
can
did.
have. Let the man now rest in peace. You know,
Mhm.
and let Biggie rest in peace. Let Tupac rest in peace. Let all the people who have died rest in peace. Don't do it. It's
Right.
that's this. Mm, mm, mm.
No. Yeah, we kind of went off the rails with the
We did. We went on a tangent, guys.
yeah, but it ties in with like the writers and the actors as well. So if
Mhm.
you want to look more on the writers agreement, I just touched on basically five of them. Just I will have a link in the description of the and on the platform, so like Apple, Spotify, YouTube. So
Yeah, just
you
just
guys can
show
look at it.
notes. That's on the show notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's show notes on all apps.
So yeah. So the actors strike
Well, before
is
we go into the actor strike, 'cause I
yeah.
think we should also talk about how the writer strike affected just regular television watching.
Okay, let's
Um,
rewind back.
yeah,
Mhm.
no, we have to talk about that for sure. So the writer strike, we saw how it affected um, TV watchers and stuff like that, like how it can be affecting also just regular series shows coming back. So usually, as we kind of all know, usually shows are coming back,
Yeah.
new seasons are coming back, usually around
Right.
September, October. Now, if you noticed, most shows are not back yet. Some of the Canadian ones are, because
Mhm.
obviously Canadian writers are not affected by this.
Oh,
But
it's mostly the American
in
ones are
America,
affected by
yes,
yeah.
yes, yes. So
Now, do they have it? Do they have like a a similar agency
I'm sure
than
we
the
do.
Americans?
I'm sure
Yeah,
we
okay.
do.
I
Yeah.
don't know anything about that.
No, I don't know
Okay.
anything about it either. Um, like the shows obviously air internationally, I would think, but um, I don't know. I don't know enough about our own country. Um, but so it affected late night shows. So if you notice, some of the late night shows actually created podcasts to be able to still be out there, obviously, probably make some sort of money coming in. Like I think Kimmel started a podcast with
Right.
um, Will Arnett and the guy from Will and Grace as well. Um, they started a podcast together during this time, but you also still have to be very careful as to what you're doing. We'll get to that with the actor strike,
Right.
but that was being affected. We have some of the series shows are not back. Like my family, we watch like The Doctor hasn't come back. We watch
Yeah.
Grey's Anatomy hasn't come back.
Right.
Yet they're saying now that the writer strike is over, that we should be seeing those shows coming back soon,
But
but we
you
don't know
need
when.
that. You need the actors
Well,
as well.
yes, but also
Yeah.
got to remember some of the actors that we're getting, they're not. I don't know if they're all in the one union. Like
I
I
don't
think
think they
I
are.
don't no, I don't think all actors are in the one union. So the particular
Oh yeah,
union
yeah,
that
yeah.
striked was the
That's true.
SAG. So I don't think all actors are affected. It just depends. If you're a
Yeah.
SAG actor, then yes, you're
Yeah.
affected.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know of who is like what you need to become a SAG actor. Like I don't know that. Obviously I've heard of like the SAG award, so I know roughly what the SAG is, but I don't know what classifies you to be a SAG actor. So
I
I have
think
no
you just need
clue.
to go into the offices and just register. That's just
Yeah, but I don't know if
that
there's
might
like
be
guidelines or something.
possibly.
Maybe there
Possibly.
is, maybe there isn't. I mean, when I actually found out who the president was, I was actually shocked. I'm like, oh, like Fran Drescher, for those people who are like know who she is, she's an actor, but like she's
Mm,
only really ever known as being the nanny. So I didn't expect her to be the president. But anyway, um,
interesting.
yeah.
Okay.
Do you know Fran Drescher? Am I the
Mm,
only one who knows who she is?
you're probably the only one that knows who she is
Well, I'm
because like
sure
I
people
don't.
out there know who Fran Drescher is. You know, the nanny. It's like, uh, yeah, it's the TV show that was back in
Right.
the day. I watched it, not like religiously or anything, but it was something that I saw come on TV and I'd watch it
Mm,
when I was younger. So she's Fran Drescher. If you hear her voice, you probably know who she is. She has a very raspy sounding voice, very unique sounding voice.
right.
Anyway, enough of Fran Drescher. We'll get to her in a minute. And so yeah, So that was affected.
Mhm.
Um,
I heard iCarly was canceled. The new one, the new
that should have
iCarly.
been canceled anyways.
Really, you hated that show? I
I
heard
was
great things about it.
first of all, hello. We were too old for iCarly. We were too old for
No, I
iCarly.
was not. I was not too old for
We
iCarly. iCarly was part of my generation.
no, it wasn't. That was part of my brother's generation. He's the one that
No,
watched
it
that
was
show.
not. That was created in 2004 or 5.
Okay. What's your point? We were like practically in high school, especially you. You were in high school.
Okay, but it came on YTV.
Okay, and
YTV or
I stopped watching YTV before I was in high school.
I haven't stopped watching YTV.
Okay, so that's you. Um,
I watched a lot of television
um,
during my 20s. So like basically I watch YTV, then I go to
you're in your
Adult Swim.
20s.
Yeah, why not? And I watch sports. Why not?
Okay, sports is one thing. Sports is
Yeah.
understandable.
All right. And then you can,
YTV.
yeah,
For those who
YTV.
don't
Why
know,
not?
for those who are American, YTV is a Canadian channel. It's very similar to like Disney in the sense. Because I'm trying to think, I don't think Teletoon is also American. I think that's Canadian
Right.
too. So it's a Canadian channel strictly, and the head office is like in Toronto or something, like strictly Canadian television channel. Where we would get like Pokemon, Sailor Moon. I watched that.
Right. Right.
Stuff like that.
Yeah,
Rugrats was on that channel as well.
but yeah, there were more stuff like that. There were like in the afternoons you would have like stuff like Boy Meets World. That was an adult.
You didn't have to watch Boy Meets World on YTV. I didn't watch Boy Meets World on
I
YTV.
did. Shit, I did.
Okay,
It
good
was
for
one of
you.
my favorite shows.
Oh yeah, no, I loved Boy Meets World. I watched that too.
Yeah.
But I don't remember watching it on YTV though.
Yeah, it was on YTV, and then it was on the Family Channel. Yeah, Family
Yeah.
Channel. It was
But
on the
see,
Family Channel
that's
as
what
well.
I continued watching to an
Yeah.
extent. But even once I was like once I was in college,
Mhm.
I wasn't really watching those shows as much. Like I think the only show that I hung on to because it was still coming on was oh shit, what was that show called? Remember the show where it was on Family Channel? There was the mom and the daughter. Mom got married to the father and they moved in with him and he had a son, Derek. What's the show called?
No,
No. Not
Life with
anything.
Derek.
Life with Derek.
Yeah,
That was
that
the
was a good
only
show.
that was a good show. That was
That was
the
a good
only
show.
show that I continued watching because it got juicy. Okay. Like they became a
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
I was like,
that was a good show.
I'm gonna keep watching the show. But after
Yeah.
that, like, no, I wasn't watching stuff like that. I was watching MTV. That's what I was doing, you know, going through college.
I
Like
mean, like,
that's what my focus was. Like I
I
wasn't
know. Sorry. I know we're going off topic and everything like this,
yeah.
but like, you're allowed to enjoy whatever you want in your 20s.
I'm
Don't let someone
sure,
else.
but iCarly, I'm shocked by it.
Like I watched it here and there. Like,
I didn't like it.
yes, it was it. I mean, it was an alright show. It
Okay,
was an
did you
alright
watch it
show.
because Ariana Grande was in it? Come on, be real. Wasn't she in that? Or was that another show? No, that was a different show.
That
That
was another
was the
show. That
cat
was
show or something.
Cat and what's it?
Yeah,
And
that's
then
Victorious. Yeah.
Victorious. That wasn't a good show.
No, my brother watched that too, though.
Yeah, that wasn't a good show
That
at
was
all.
for me, that was my brother's era. Like he watched that when he
Yeah,
got a little older. He
yeah.
would not all the time, but he would watch that show. His thing was more Teletoon, which again is another Canadian channel. He would watch those stuff.
Awesome channel back in the day, by the way. So
I watched
Treehouse too. Treehouse.
Okay, no, now you're pushing it. Treehouse was definitely for little kids.
I don't watch Treehouse anymore, but back in the day
You
when I
should
was
never
younger.
have. Oh my god.
Yeah. No, when I was extremely young, you kind of develop like when you were like possibly like 1 to 8.
And
You
how
watch
would you remember
TVO
something when you were one?
what?
How would you remember watching a channel at 1 year old? No, you don't. No one had a memory at 1 year old.
I remember I was watching CBC had like a cartoon, an animated channel. I remember that when I
Yeah.
was 4 years
Okay,
old.
fine. But I don't know how old Treehouse is, but I never heard of Treehouse until my brother was like young and he watched Treehouse.
Oh,
Never heard Treehouse before it.
oh wow. You don't know about Max and Ruby.
I hate Max and Ruby.
Love it.
I can literally talk about all the shows I hated from that freaking channel. Oh my god.
And Treehouse had them, and then
Oh my
Pingu
god, I hated that
on
fucking
TVO.
show.
Love that show.
How
Arthur was
how
good.
okay, Arthur's one thing, but Arthur didn't always play on Treehouse, so that's different.
Yeah,
Arthur was our
no,
type.
TVO.
But
Yeah.
Max and Ruby, explain to me how these two children live on their own. Where are the parents? Why does grandma not live with them? Oh, I hated
There's
that show.
possibilities,
Yeah,
like
wait,
the
oh,
grandma, the parents
no,
probably live in another country or
that's
something,
just stupid true. They were like 10. Max couldn't even talk.
I mean,
Like, he was so young he couldn't talk. I don't know if there's something else that's wrong with him, but he was so young he couldn't even talk. Come on now.
that was it. Hmm. He's supposed
The
to be
only
little.
show I liked was Backyardigans because that was an all black cast. So we liked that show in my house. Backyardigans was okay. Otherwise, I can't think of any other show that I liked.
Yeah, but yeah, those were the days.
Oh,
Those were
Blue's
good shows.
Clues. Blue's Clues played on
Blue's Clues was
Treehouse.
good.
Yeah, I
Blue's
watched Blue's
Clues. I
Clues.
still see clips of the new one, like on Twitter.
I didn't know there was a new one.
The new one, there's a third guy, so I can't remember his name. But
Who cares? There was always Steve or what was the other guy's name? Who came after Steve?
Oh my god, I have to do my research on that
Damn.
one. I remember the second one, but like,
No, wasn't Steve? Technically, Steve was first, apparently.
hold on, keep talking because like I have to like research this.
Oh god, Tupi and Binu. What a stupid show that was. Ugh. I don't think that show comes on anymore. I think a lot of these shows don't come on anymore.
What, the Blue's Clues?
No, Blue's Clues is one thing, but a lot of the shows I played on Treehouse when my brother was little, they don't play those shows anymore.
The third guy's name is Josh.
No, I don't care.
Joe.
That's it, Joe.
Joe. Joe.
Yeah,
So,
Joe.
Yeah.
He was great too.
Yeah, he was good. He was good. But he wasn't no Steve. He was no Steve.
But the thing is, for me, I actually watched Joe first. So that, but then like Steve, I would see like bits and pieces of Steve after.
Right.
But I obviously knew who Steve was. And I think we actually we liked Blue's Clues so much in this house that my brother actually had DVDs. And I'm pretty sure they were Steve and not Joe. So yeah, I obviously knew who Steve was. But Joe was the first guy that I saw.
Right.
And then of course, like the worst part was the rumors around Steve. Oh, we're not going to talk about it because we're not going to say that here on the podcast. But there was definitely some horrible rumors about Steve, not being alive.
Yeah,
well, obviously that's not true.
Yeah, but that wasn't true. He went to he went to college, and he went to become I believe I don't know if it was FBI or a police officer. Let me just check that.
Oh, you can't just become an FBI agent. You gotta work your way up to that, man. That doesn't just happen.
Was he a lawyer?
Who cares? Maybe a lawyer. I feel like lawyer sounds right. I think lawyer.
He
good for him.
Must be a lawyer.
Good for him.
Yeah, a lawyer. Yeah. He became. Yeah.
Anyway, back to the strikes.
Back to the strikes. My bad, guys. Jeez.
It's okay.
Just being caught by memory lane and all the.
We don't tend to go on tangents very much, but anyways.
Right. Right. So we're going on to the actor strike now. So when did the actor strike start? It started July 14, 2023. So that's 3 months ago now, I believe.
Sure.
Sorry.
Yeah,
3 months and a day. Sorry, my bad.
I don't think we need to include the day.
So basically, what is SAG? Well, should I say SAG or SAG?
It's SAG. No, just say SAG. It's easier to say SAG.
So SAG stands for Screen Actor Guide, guys.
Isn't it Guild?
I think it's Guide. Let me just.
I think it's Guild.
Guide. No, hold on. Stands for Screen Actor Guide America, not Guild. No.
Okay.
No. And then Federation of Television That's what the and then radio artists, which represents about 160,000 performers and media professionals worldwide. Through not all members are covered under the same contract, like you just said. Like not all actors are covered under the same contract. So like, yeah, the unions is a member of the union guild. There you go, AFL-CIO. So yeah, yeah, like you said, they're looking for increase of pay in terms of streaming service. So like 2% of revenue on streaming, and a lot of these studios are not or declining to agree with those terms. So like, Netflix, Universal, Warner Brothers, and Disney has declined to agree on that term. So like, do you feel that that's kind of greedy from the
100%, 100%? Because here's the thing: streaming service. Not forget the streaming services for a second, because that's not the point I want to make. TV shows in general, movies in general, would not be a thing without your actors.
Agreed.
So, it's just, I don't understand why you can't agree to something. Like, I don't understand. Would you rather waste the money of not doing something and not getting it done, or waste the money for something that is being done? You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah,
it's not like
it's
you're
because
hurting.
like I think it's because it costs, and they said if they agreed to that, it will cost them at least 800 million a year.
Okay, so streaming services like Netflix, Disney, or whatever else.
Yeah,
you're really trying to tell me that you can't afford that? Listen, like, I'm going to use Netflix as an example, because on my other podcast where we were covering Love is Blind, and you're trying to tell me, though, Netflix, you're going to waste money to do a live reunion for Love is Blind last season that didn't fucking happen because you were not prepared. Users of the of Netflix who are fans of the show literally crashed your website.
right.
So you couldn't do it, which I know this because the Colin, I can't remember his name now, Chris Colin, who creates Love is Blind, said it wasn't my idea, it was Netflix's idea. He swiftly put Netflix under the bus and said, it's your fault that we did this in the first place. So we're going to waste money to do a live reunion that didn't happen, which they're not doing again this time. But you can't do $800 million, whatever, a year to support your actors because they're the reason your platform is successful in the first place.
Right. Yeah.
And the writers as well. I don't want to not say the writers as well, but the actors are who we see as a viewer. So what?
They're the ones that promote your platform. So when you're
exactly,
when
which
you
is
are saying
something they couldn't do.
Yep.
During the strike.
Social media. So like when it comes to promoting their project, they're saying that this is only exclusive to Disney Plus. Right. So like, and then, and then a lot of their followers go to Disney Plus to subscribe on your platform. Right. So like, yeah, I think they do deserve those 2%.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to see on their side of things as well. And like a lot of streaming services are losing money as well. So like,
I don't believe that. I don't believe. Well, here's what I'll say: if they're losing money, I don't believe they're losing money because no one's using them.
Right.
Things like Netflix and now Disney is joining, that we've talked about already. They're losing money because they've hiked the prices up. And people are like, no, fuck this amount. And they have left the streaming service. So it's kind of your fault for the reason why you're losing money. It has nothing to do with the actors. That shouldn't be the actor's problem. That's like my job saying to me, oh, I can't give you an increase on your salary because we're losing money. That's not my problem. I work for you. I'm the reason you're getting money brought in at all. Is the work that I'm doing, the work that the lawyers are doing. I don't care. I don't care that you're losing money. Give me my money. Like, it's the same idea.
Yeah.
Especially when it's like, I'm not going to go into any details about my job and what's because that stuff has been happening with my job, but on my job, on my company, I'm not going to go into any details of that, but they made some choice ass decisions during COVID that has led them to where they're at right now.
Yep.
And that's not my problem as your employee. That's what I'm trying to get at.
What if they come all to agreement with this 2% or even more, and then other companies follow, and then they in the near future to go out of business? Wouldn't that hurt you in the future?
You think that Netflix or Disney is going to go out of business?
Just to say, if they like not just 2%, what if they increase it for I doubt this is going to happen, 7%, 10%, and just theory speaking, and in the future they're like, oh my god, look at our charts, we're struggling, we can't make any money, and they they
No,
they,
no,
they all
no,
close down.
no.
Wouldn't that hurt you as the employee finding
First of
jobs in the
all,
near future?
first
I'm
of
just trying to look at it on their side.
okay, well,
Go ahead.
let me say this, and I'm going to use my job for example. My company gives me an increase, gives all of their employees an increase every year. That's how things work. I think that's the law. That's how things work. We get an increase, and that increase can be anywhere between 1 or 5%, I believe, maybe 4%, depending on performance, depending on stuff like that. Like, that's usually where it goes. Usually, my increase roughly can be anywhere between 2 and 3%. Just depends. And that happens every year. So you're really trying to tell me that something like, I know this is different because this is all actors, it's not the same situation, but it's 2%. And that's based on whoever you have working for you at that time, whatever TV show you have going or movie you have going at that time.
Right.
It's not to say that everything is happening at once, right?
Yeah.
And again, that's whatever actor you're using who is under SAG. That doesn't include Canadian shows or, for example, The Crown's coming back soon. England is under its own thing. They're not affected by this.
Right.
So I'm sorry, but I don't buy it. Yeah. And I don't agree with it.
I'm thinking that here's what they're thinking. If they agree to this, more will come in the near future. So like they might want like a more of an
Well,
increase.
of course, that's how it works. But you have to remember that unions don't get increases without their union rep or whoever trying to get more for them. My boyfriend is under a union. I have a friend that's under a union. That you don't get more money unless your rep or whoever it is negotiates for you for more money. How else do you get increases? Like that's exactly it. Like, I don't know exactly how much. I'm just going to use a guesstimate here, but my boyfriend, for example, let's say he started at $18 an hour. He's now like closer to $30 an hour. How does that happen unless you get increases?
Right.
So true. Of course that's just how this works.
That's true. That's true. So studios, Tanyka saying, stop being greedy.
Yeah, stop being greedy. I'm sorry, but like, especially someone like Disney, you have been around for 50 plus years. You're really trying to tell me you can't pay your actors more? Come on.
Right.
Try again.
I do think a lot of actors do deserve to get paid. You've seen a lot of the residual checks, right? Like they're getting. Like
I haven't seen them.
they're been posting a lot. A lot of them been getting like, 51 cents, 6 cents, it's even 1 cent.
Well, you get absolutely nothing from residuals.
Yeah.
That's how it's always been.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
even the chunk of the money of what you get is from when you get paid when you do the movie. Those residuals is nothing. It's
Yep.
usually nothing, which is crazy to me because when you have like movies, for example, this is an example, like Liar Liar, that's
Mm,
been around since '96, that plays constantly on TV. One of
yep.
my favorite movies, and it plays constantly. You think Jim Carrey is making a crap load of money from the residuals of that movie? No, he's not. But
All right.
whatever money he made when he made that movie, which from my
Making,
understanding,
yeah.
he negotiated quite a bit for.
Yeah. Crazy.
So
There's also like studios doing like, a lot of the actors dirty too. Like when they sign on for a season, like Netflix for example, when they sign on for like a season of a show, um they don't pay the actors residuals for the first season. But
yeah,
second season, I'm hearing that there's a if they order the second season, I'm hearing that there's some type of payment they have to pay the actors.
mhm,
So that's one reasons why a lot of studios don't or a lot of studios don't like order like their second, third seasons of that show because there's some type of contract that
yeah,
allows them to pay them.
mhm. Yeah, no, that's
So
understandable. And it's
I think
also
that
based on whether or not the show does well. If it doesn't do
mhm,
well, then there's no. That's why they call it a pilot season. It might
yep,
not do well, you know what I mean? But I mean, even like, you know, thinking about like other situations, it's it has to do good. It has to do well. And if the show doesn't
yep.
do well, you don't get anything. Or you're not
It's
gonna
yeah,
get like residuals or whatever.
it's been like that for
Been like that forever.
generations. Yeah,
Yeah, like
generations and forever.
it's
Yeah,
never
like
gonna change.
if the show is not doing too well, the
Yeah.
viewership,
And then think of it
uh,
this way: what residuals are you gonna get? Because there have been shows that we've watched that have just dropped, never heard
mm,
from again.
yep,
What are you getting residuals from? Because the show's gone, like doesn't exist. People probably don't
right,
remember that it ever
right,
happened. You know what I mean?
right. And there's like a lot of good shows that Netflix has canceled
Yes.
due to
Yes.
like due to that um due to like ratings dropping and people saying that why does Netflix cancel good shows? Maybe because it
Yeah.
doesn't reflect on the views that they want.
Exactly. That's the thing.
So
It's
like
because you
yeah,
like for example, I watch you, love you.
oh yeah,
I would be so sad if the show got canceled, but I mean, based on how things are, I wouldn't
mm,
be surprised if we hear that's being canceled the next season or two. Just because like it's not what it was in the first, second, or even third season. So
right,
that could happen. But I mean, even just kind of talking about like contract and negotiation, stuff like that. I've talked about the fact that I'm a fan of Scream movies. Can't even call them
mm,
like, I don't know what to call them anymore because there's so many of them. But the Scream movies, they had Neve Campbell, who was the main girl of all the movies. Um, they had her in the more, not the most recent Scream movie, but the one prior to kind of rebooted it in a sense, but didn't really, it's not really a reboot, but anyways, they had her in that one. And
mm,
they had the originals. They had her, they had Courtney Cox, and they had what's his name? The guy who plays Dewey, for those who watch the show, watch the movie. Um, they had the three of them. Now they killed Dewey off, so whatever, he's gone.
okay,
Yeah, Neve Campbell, when they did the
mm,
second movie from like the reboot, she didn't come back because they didn't negotiate. They didn't give her what she wanted.
right,
And the thing is, it's like they didn't want to give her what she wanted. Don't know why. But this movie would not be what it is without her, without Sydney Prescott. Why
right,
are you not giving her what she's deserved? Honestly. And although the movie did very well without her, it was kind of a slap in the face of, why can't you give her what she is asking for? She is maybe not on the same level as Courtney Cox, but she's not that far off, honestly, in comparison to Courtney Cox. And why couldn't you just give her what she wanted and what she deserves as someone who's literally has been Scream? Like, I don't understand. Just as an example of kind of talking about that. And it's like, if you're going to have a movie and you're going to have them in it, then give the original people what they deserve.
Yeah, I do 100% agree. Like I said, the actors deserve to get paid
Yeah.
as much as they want. So like basically pay the actors what they need to be paid, and yeah, so they can, live another day to perform
Exactly.
in front of our TV screen, our movie screens, anywhere, any type of platform.
Yeah. So because of the actors strike, there are certain shows that have obviously been affected. I think most shows have obviously been affected, and they've kind of mentioned like the Yellow Jackets, Severance, Stranger Things, all shows a part of the streaming services exclusively.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Yeah. I think like, are they writing scripts for it right now? Because the writers are back.
As far as I know, it's on a legit pause. I don't know if they're going to be writing scripts for them, but if the actors are still on strike, what's the point?
Yeah. They could write. They could write scripts right now for them.
They could, but for what reason? When there's there's nothing going to be happening.
I know, but I know, but like, you can still write them and just wait for the actors strike to end. But like, that's going to take a lot of time and money.
Yeah, that's the thing. How long is this going to go for? There's no end in sight currently. So, I don't know. But kind of obviously, I think I've talked about this briefly, is on a different episode, where kind of the reality shows are the ones that are kind of keeping things going. So you do have like Celebrity Family Feud. Not Family Feud. That's done. Celebrity Wheel of Fortune is coming. Dance with the Stars is currently airing. And Judge Steve Harvey, which I've heard has actually been pretty good. So that's kind of.
Those don't need scripts. Sorry, those don't need like actual actors. They just need like normal people, right?
No, but again, out of curiosity, like not so much Celebrity Wheel of Fortune or Dancing with the Stars, but Judge Steve Harvey, he was an actor, so I'm not too sure how that works. But I do know, like, again, I've talked about this for one of the shows that I cover on my podcast, 90 Day Fiance. Right. The host of the reunions, the tell-alls, I should say, she is a part of SAG, from my understanding, and she's not going to be doing the tell-all because that's against what the guidelines are of the strike.
She's just the after.
She's not an actor.
No, after the after, what's it called, the after show, when that when it airs and then everybody goes in their seats and the tell-all.
The tell-all.
The tell-all.
It's either called tell-all or the reunion.
And that's the host, right?
It's the host of it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So we don't know what that's going to look like for the shows that are going to be probably ending towards the end of the year, because usually they always film the tell-all like, say, about halfway through or closer to the end of the season. The season usually lasts for about 4 months, give or take. So we don't know what that will look like. If they will end the strike prior to that, we don't know. But yeah, like, she is a part of SAG, so she cannot do it. So we do see like those effects kind of happening.
So I just wondering, the hosts of these shows, they're not technically acting on the show, but
they're not acting. They're not acting on the show. But here's what I'm going to say. Here's what I'm going to tell you. And this is interesting. I never knew this prior. One of my podcasts that I listened to, Reality Gaze. I don't know if anyone knows who they are, but they cover reality shows as well, obviously based on the name. They are now currently a SAG podcast. So apparently there can be podcasters who are a part of SAG. Yes.
We should get in this.
I don't think we'll ever be able to get into this.
Yeah, right.
They've been podcasting for years, and they just recently became a SAG podcast. So, podcasters are not affected by the strike. However, they have to be in support of the strike. Obviously, I think most people are in support of this, but whenever they have talked about the strikes very briefly, they always say, we're a SAG podcast. We're in favor of the strike. We support the strike. So, so technically you don't have to be an actor to be a part of SAG. It's kind of just a different branch of it, I guess, is what my understanding of it is.
Wow. I didn't know SAG does that type of branch. You do TV. Yeah. Obviously movies and then the podcast. Yeah. Wow. I wonder what they're going to do in the near future.
I don't know. But also other unscripted shows are currently going along, like Celebrity Name That Tune, Masked Singer, and Kitchen Nightmares, all of my favorites. So I'm okay in terms of what I'm watching, because I'm a huge Ramsay fan over here. And
Gordon Ramsay?
Oh yes, I love him. I love him very much. I watch everything that's Gordon Ramsay. Everything. Yeah, he has about 5 different shows, and I watch them all.
I know. Wow, he's a hustler. He's.
Oh, he is. Yeah, he is. I love him very much.
Here's another example too. Like Tom Hiddleston. You know who he is?
Sounds familiar.
So, well, he does a character called Loki from Marvel Studios.
Oh, please.
But he does. He films in other movies too.
He's always Loki. Continue.
Yeah. So, I actually love the show. By the way, very good show.
I actually need to get back into watching. I started watching the first episode of the first season, and I'm like, I actually really like. Because I love Loki. He's the only bad guy who I love. I love him. So I'm like, oh my God, he's coming back to the TV show, which again, like for those who watch Marvel and watched the last movies and stuff, he dies. So I'm like, that was a sad day for me.
Spoiler alert. Yeah.
Oh, come on.
I guess
the movie's been out for years.
Yeah, I know. A lot of people have watched the movie already, but
yes. But when he dies, and then I'm like, and that happened like within the first like few minutes of the movie, and I'm like, no, I'm done. I'm ready to walk out. I'm like, no, I'm done, because I love Loki so much. So I need to watch the show.
Season 2, he didn't take any like pictures or anything due to the
they can't promote it.
Yeah, they can't.
Yeah, can't promote it.
So he didn't do any promo art. So what they did is took some art from season 1, and then 3D render it, and then post it on social media, basically. Yeah. So that's an example there that they can't really promote the show, and etc. And then the Marvels is coming soon too. That's another thing. They can't promote that movie too. And that movie's about to bomb, I heard, because it's doing.
Oh, it's gonna bomb. I can already tell you that. Come on.
It's projected to do 50 to 70 million in the box office on the first week, which is pretty bad for a Marvel's movie. So
but even just even the other day, because I'm in my spooky season right now, and I tend to watch a lot of scary movies and stuff like that. And I decided to watch the new Haunted Mansion movie, and it's actually I enjoyed it. It's very different, set in New Orleans, which gives you really that feel of haunted, because New Orleans is nothing but haunted. So I'm like, okay, so I'm all into this. The movie did really. I thought the movie was really good. But there was barely any promotion for the movie because they probably couldn't. Exactly. So I feel like something that could have been really good. I actually think it was better than the first one, in my honest opinion. Just because it was just so different. And The story was so different. And it was, I thought, really, really well done. It was no promotion for it. You didn't know it was coming until you saw it on commercials that, oh, they're doing a Haunted Mansion movie. But that's it. Like I heard maybe prior to the strike that they were going to be doing another Haunted Mansion movie. And I'm like, oh God, why? Like, leave it alone. I'm happy they didn't leave it alone, but and then I never heard anything about it again until it was actually coming out. And I'm like, oh, because they cannot promote it. It's interesting to see that because, like, I don't think Haunted Mansion was really talked about very much.
Right.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, I think the studio should just pay, because
I agree.
you're gonna look at your fourth quarter charts and they're gonna be extremely down.
I agree.
And yeah, because like a lot of the films and shows are not, on pause because of the strike, and it needs to come to an end. So just pay the artists, just pay the artist studio, because
So also,
we want
I'm
to,
cutting you off.
it's okay. We want to enjoy these shows, sit down on our couch, just enjoy them.
Yeah. But in the meantime, at least we have our reality TVs that can keep us going for now. But
True.
I mean, I one of my favorite shows is The Good Doctor, and I miss it because, like, I love watching that story.
Oh, The Doctor. I heard about
The Good Doctor. Yeah,
I've seen some clips.
it's a really good show. It's something that I think my family really connects on because, I have a family member who's autistic, so we really connected on watching the show. And
wait. What's better, ER or Doctor?
I never watched the ER.
Oh, okay.
No, ER was kind of before my time a little bit, so I never watched it. Yeah, I wasn't allowed. I think it's probably the best thing to say.
I think I watched the first 3 seasons. George Clooney. Those are the years I watched it. But whatever. Go on.
No, I wasn't allowed to watch the ER. That's like Criminal Minds. I wasn't allowed to watch Criminal Minds. I watched it later on because I wasn't allowed to watch it when it was on. But anyway, fun fact. The last time that the writers and the actors went on strike at the same time was in 1960 when Ronald Reagan was president of the Screen Actors Guild. Say the what now? I didn't know. When I saw that, I'm like, wait a minute, he was president. No, he was president of the Screen Actors Guild. I didn't know that. That's crazy.
What was the agreement in 19?
Oh, I don't know that. We're not going to go back to that. Come on, 1960. Come on. And then so we do know, obviously, the screenwriters have walked out several times. And in 2007, they were out for 100 days. And they actors last staged a major walkout in 1980, and it lasted more than 3 months. So we're at 3 months right now.
3 months right now.
Almost.
So it's going to be longer. Now. I think we're in different times. That's why.
We are in different times than we were in 1980. Yeah. But yeah.
So just pay the actor studios.
Exactly.
Pay the actors. That's the only thing I can say, because like I said, I heard Jeremy Netflix is doing something similar, like the 2% on each streaming. So they're fine with that, but there's something wrong with America, that they value money over,
Oh yeah, are you surprised?
Yeah.
But even like reading this, like, I think the article that I had was prior to Barbie coming out. And they kind of said, like, don't expect, like, Ryan Gosling or I guess whoever else might have been a part of SAG and who was in that movie to really promote the movie. And come to think of it, I really don't think there was much kind of going on in terms of promoting the movie. I think that movie just kind of was able to do its own thing without really, and why it was so big and apparently really well done. And it was pretty good movie, got great reviews. I think that
Mm-hmm.
movie was just able. I think they did so much promoting of Barbie prior to this happening,
Right.
because that movie came out after the strike happened, like I think a couple of weeks after, and I think that movie was able to really promote itself. You
Yeah,
had
because it's
other
Barbie's
shows. Barbie's
Barbie.
huge,
Yeah,
right?
Barbie's like a franchise, so
Yeah, yeah,
you don't have to promote it.
yeah. And I don't think the
Just
actors who actually were acting in the movie really
right.
promoted this movie.
Mhm.
At least maybe the last couple of weeks prior to it. But I do know that I think in Toronto they really barbified King Street, and I believe Ryan Gosling was actually there, from what I overheard
Yeah,
on the
yeah, because
radio
he's
at that
Canadian, isn't he?
time.
He's
Yes,
Canadian.
he's
Yeah.
Canadian, and he was there, and he was kind of, I don't know necessarily promoting is the right word to use, but he was they did like a party thing, and he was there, um
Mm,
and to kind of some more like a launch party, let's say,
yeah.
for the movie. But yeah, come to think of it, I don't think they really were had the actors really promoting this movie. I think
Mm,
this, luckily for them, Barbie just kind of did its own thing without really having to do that. You had
mhm.
other shows promoting Barbie. You had like, I think like I watched Bachelorette, covered Bachelorette on my other show, and they had a Barbie themed group date. I think the movie's really able to do its thing without having
Mm,
to really promote it. So I think that's just a different beast
yeah,
altogether.
yeah. Barbie's a
But
different beast. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, because you can like put out a garbage product for Barbie and it can sell.
that's true. That's true.
Yeah, so like
Yeah.
basically, yeah, I don't think the actors needed to, because like Barbie, the company has a lot of money, so if they want to put ads or on a lot of the television shows
Mm-hmm.
to promote it,
Mm-hmm.
people are just gonna watch it.
Yeah.
So
And I think some of the Comic Cons have actually been affected as well, which makes sense. Um, festivals have been, I think, are going to be affected, which, yes, this is the time, and I can only go based on Toronto's. We have TIFF every year, and it usually is around September.
we
Like
didn't we
last
didn't have we didn't have
week,
TIFF this year.
mm-mm,
Jeez,
it's usually has happened by now. We're in the middle of
was it
October, and it
was
hasn't
it
happened.
it wasn't just for the actor situation. Was it? I heard something about Belle.
But they can't. No, I don't know. No, 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 no. I don't know who
Oh,
owns TIFF. Like I don't know all that the situation. But
go ahead.
if you can't have the actors promoting movies that
Right.
they have done that are um going to be like launched during TIFF
Mhm.
or aired during TIFF, then what you can't have TIFF.
Right.
TIFF is not going to happen without the actors. So it's been affected because usually by now, and I know because I work in Toronto, this is when you start hearing, oh, you see like an actor on the subway, or, stuff is being shut down because of TIFF. None of
Mhm.
that has happened. That usually happens towards I would say end of September is usually the latest first week of October. It
Not
hasn't
even the
happened.
not even the indie films showed up, or
No,
not.
no, because you can't have TIFF with just the indie shows. And nonetheless, it doesn't even matter.
Mhm.
You don't know who is in those indie movies and where, like, who they're with in terms of if they're a
Right.
SAG or if they're a
Yeah.
union. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. If they
You're right.
cannot
Yeah.
promote it, they can't promote it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
all
TIFF
right.
has not happened. And again, for those who don't know what TIFF is, it's the Toronto, what's the
Toronto
TIFF stand for?
International
International Film Festival.
Festival. There we go.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
So okay. Like I kept
And
saying
there's
again and
also one
again.
in Venice as well that's been affected as well. The
Oh,
film festival in
there's a
Venice.
TIFF replica in
No, no,
Venice.
I don't
Is it?
know if TIFF is what it's called, but it's a film festival in
Oh,
Venice
okay.
that's also
Some
been
other.
affected.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, wow. So hopefully they get this done by before Christmas.
Well, I mean, by Christmas, we're not really going to be focused on movies and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But, whatever. We'll see. Nonetheless, don't worry, everybody. For those who are reality TV fans and you like 90 Day Fiancé, Matt Sharp will keep you going. He never stops. Ever.
I know that that small midget guy who dated Rose will keep you entertained. So
Who? Who are you talking about?
Small midget guy that
Can't say midget.
Sorry, my bad. Small guy.
Little person.
That you can't even say that either.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can literally say little person. That's the proper way. No, it's not. Unless you've watched. I watched those shows about little people and stuff like that. That is the proper term to use. It's literally little person. Go ahead, continue.
All right. Okay. That little guy that was Bad Math and Rose in 90 Day Fiance. So basically,
oh fuck you! I'm taking this out. Oh my god, I hate you so much, guys. By the way, he is referring to Big Pride Ed, whoever you want to refer to him as. Yes, I do not call him by the stupid fucking name he calls himself on my podcast. I don't even talk about him on my podcast if I can avoid it. That's who he's talking about.
Listen, I don't
like no, fuck him. Fuck him. That's why I'm like, literally, are you fucking kidding me? No. He is.
Shout out to Rose.
He's not even with Rose anymore.
I know. He's
married to Liz.
Yeah, I saw some clips. I was like, that woman's crazy.
Oh my god. Sorry. I can't. I hate him so much.
Anyways.
Moving on.
So this ends episode 6 of the Next Tape podcast. The Next Tape podcast is available on all podcast platforms. We also have a website called solo.tl/Next Tape podcast. And for our contact, email us at mikeltanyka@gmail.com. So Tanyka, do you have anything else to say?
No, I think that's it.
So basically, just pay the actor studios, and that's it. And congratulations to the writers for getting an agreement on their side of things. And also, enjoy what you want to watch, guys. Doesn't matter if you're a kid, an adult, or a senior. You can still watch cartoons. You can still watch Max and Ruby.
Oh my god. Okay. All right.
All right. So I'm Mikel. And
I'm Tanyka.
We are out.